I've had a strange day, so I don't really want clients, and I'm happy to not work. But at the same time, I had someone today who booked and then cancelled because he saw an advert, a massage advert on my video, and then afterwards it showed a video of the one I did yesterday, and I don't know what I was saying. I've got a feeling he wasn't listening to a word I was saying, but he said that he saw that video and was confused as to what I was because I looked so much skinnier on my pictures, and it's really strange because I look fat when I'm lying in this position. I don't know, like I think especially on the beanbag because it was pushing my arms forwards and making me look fat. I mean, if I go like this, then I look skinny, I think. But yeah, it's weird how if you sit in different angles, you can make yourself look like fatter or whatever. But I'm going to sit like this because I don't care if people think that I'm fat. But yes, I've been looking at some of the singers again, and I've been trying to get like fake names for them, or not necessarily fake names, just names that are deceptive because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Basically, I want to give power to the angels, and I'm now coming up with a list of um, names that would help give them power. They give me power by saying that I'm Christ. I don't know at what stage it will be because I know a lot of people will see me as the Antichrist, and therefore they will basically reject all the singers and reject all the angels and basically reject everything and just see me as the Antichrist, and they'll just go and find Jesus or whatever. But yeah, there'll also be a huge number of people, I reckon, who will listen to the angels and be like, oh, I really I like I believe them and stuff, and so the singers need to kind of work out like how they or when at what stage they're going to start supporting me and saying that I'm Christ. But at that stage, I feel like they would have a lot more power if I gave them like the angel or something. And I've been looking, I actually typed it Google in just to see what kind of angels there are. There's like a list of different angels. Where's that page? And I cannot find that page. But yeah, where there's it's supposed to be a list of pages like the angel of death or the angel of where is it? I'm not going to be able to find it really quickly because I don't know where it is. Um, uh, it's not up. There's not none of the pages are up, so I think it's got closed down for some reason. But there was a bunch of names like just I don't know, the Angel of Tolerance or something. Angel of Learning was one of them, but I'm not going to bother with those names because those ones just I feel like are weird, and maybe I'll be able to find singers that represent those things. But yeah, I think Maya M.I.A should, instead of calling her like the dark side of Dala, I feel like that would give her a lot of power if I said that she's Christ's representation or a dark side of the first Christ. But at the same time, people might also start thinking that it's an insult towards the Islamic belief and stuff, and I feel like I should try and get away from that as possible because it would put her life in danger and stuff. So just calling her the angel of war, that is non-offensive, and I think even people in the Muslim countries, they would admit that their countries are at war most of the time, and so the angel of war doing videos in their countries would make sense because it's just the truth about what's happening. And I feel like they would actually not see it as an insult because I'm sure that a lot of them love or like the idea of whatever they're doing. I mean, whoever's at war obviously is at war for some reason because they're getting something from it, and therefore, if they knew she represents the angel of war, they would actually like her and support her. And I don't want to make it seem like it's aimed at the Muslim countries or anything, but if it's just a random general just war in general, then it's better. And I feel like the Nicole Squatch, I can't say her surname. I have talked about her before, and I was kind of thinking that she kind of represented Robbie Williams' wife, but it is a bit of complex. I went through a phase where I really liked him, and therefore I kind of and I noticed that how Ida might feel for me liking Robbie might be how some of her in that how her Robbie's partner might feel. It's hard to explain, hard to say. So I feel like some of those songs relate to that. But the thing is, though, if she represents love, then that is true because I'm pretty sure Ida does love William, and I feel like that's why I could relate that character to Ida, because Ida has love for William, and if I also like him, or I'm moving away from it. I'm accepting that there's loads of people that might be, and he's also too old for me. I think they're all too old for me. Actually, all the guys that I like seem to be in their 50s, and they're all too old for me. But anyway, I've accepted the fact that I'm going to be single all my life probably. But anyway, yes, I'm not a home wrecker, but at the same time, um, it's, if you like someone, you like someone. But it's true that I like probably not that many people. I'd say a lot, but no, I don't think I like a lot. I mean, it's probably a lot considering um, I'm not supposed to like a lot or something. Like if someone liked loads of people, you'd call them a slut or anything. And I think I like a lot of people just because I like a lot of songs and I like a lot of people who sing songs. So I do like a lot, but nothing compared to, like, it's like still 0.11, 0.00% one, not 1%, whatever that is. That's how many people I like in the world. But still, that's probably a lot more than. And I don't know. I don't even think I like anyone. Maybe I do. I'm confused about that. But the point I'm making is that Maya and this character look very similar, and so it would make a lot of sense if one represented, the angel of love and one represented the angel of war, because if I'm going to declare them as angels, you would expect these two characters to be somewhere, because it's like, well, how can you say that you have a bunch of angels and none of them represent war, because war obviously happens on Earth, and just the angel of war is kind of like a really big important character, and you can't really have a bunch of angels without having that. And I feel like people will accept that. I think Pink is slightly different though. If people knew that Pink represented a warlord, they might be a little bit fearful of God or me, because Pink is clearly aimed for the modern world and people in it. And I'm also very confused when it comes to the modern world and people in it, because I feel like on one hand there's going to be so many politicians and law. I don't know. So many, I was watching some clips of news things from Republican kind of media, and I could just look into their eyes, and I just feel like, if I said that I was Christ and that I want to make assisted suicide legal, I feel like some of them would just think that I'm absolutely crazy and there's no way in hell that I would make that happen. And then I kind of think, well, am I going to make it happen? But then again, I think how much I hate those kind of people and how dead they look in their eyes, and the problems that they are causing. I saw a speech. There was this guy talking. That horrible Christian person who just insults everyone, but he was talking about um, Call for an Uprising, he used to be called, I think. But yeah, he was talking about Biden and saying how Biden was just saying that the Republicans are attacking democracy and choice. And you know what? It is right. If I think about it, they are attacking that because they're preventing women from choosing whether or not they want to have a kid. They are preventing, I don't know, like, what other rules do they have? But I was thinking about the list, and there is quite a few things that they're preventing. Like Donald Trump is trying to enforce, I don't know, even things like enforcing the Bible into schools. You should be giving people choice. Hence, you shouldn't be forcing a Bible onto someone. You shouldn't be forcing, what other things that I don't even know what their policies are, but yeah, I'm definitely for choice. I'm definitely for assisted suicide if that's a person's choice. I'm definitely for abortion if that's a person's choice. I'm for. You might argue that it's not the baby's choice, but I would argue that baby doesn't have choice because it doesn't have thought, or it isn't capable of thinking. Even when they're a baby, they're still not really able to think or feel or anything. And ask depressed people suffering. I don't even want to pick my phone up. I can't be bothered. I don't know why my phone keeps going off. I don't even know where my ad is. It's on yellow or something, and I can't make any changes to it because I can't log into it because it. Anyway, so yeah, and what other ones have I thought about? I've gone through the list, and I've tried to rename them and come up with something that I think they would like and they would accept. And okay, it's not always the truth. I feel like I'm dulling down, like dulling down some of them, so that, or rising them up. I think Avril Lavigne wouldn't really want to be called a good Dolly because that does take power away from her. But calling her just the angel of pop and rock or whatever, that's giving power to her. And so I feel like all the names that I've chosen, the Angel of Guidance is actually a new one that I've just decided. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily that accurate of her songs, but I feel like she's a character who wants to guide people. Like she wants to give people advice, and that's why she's looking quite like religious in actually a lot of her new ones. I feel like she's got this whole religious vibe, and okay, she might have done things in the past, talking about we're ruling and stuff, but I feel like she feels like she made a mistake back then and she wants to change and guide people and stuff. But like I was saying in the speech, which is important, just because someone is guiding you doesn't mean that they're guiding you to the right place or to do the right things. Your friends can guide you into doing drugs and stuff, and your boyfriend can guide you into becoming a prostitute. That doesn't mean that he loves you just because he's your boyfriend. And that you can get all sorts of guidance. People seek guidance from God, but I don't think that God necessarily likes people. I think a lot of things, a lot of people God doesn't like, and therefore, do you really want to be listening to God if God is guiding you into the wrong direction? I mean, yes, you do. If there's too many people on earth, then you do need to be guided by God. And I'm glad that the Bible books are telling you to be guided by God. But yeah, the truth about it is that God might not actually like you and might not even care if you die. And I think if you don't accept that truth, then you'll just be misled, and bad things might happen to you, and you're probably too stupid to actually notice. Bad things happen to Christians all the time, and if it happens to someone else, they'll just be like, oh, you're not listening to God, you're not following God. A lot of people would say things like that. And then if bad things happen to them, they'll just be like, oh, the devil led me there, and not like, maybe God didn't guide them there, maybe it's just their own choice and they made bad choices, which is probably usually the case. But maybe God is guiding people into making mistakes because she wants to punish people and stuff. So, and people just don't see it like that, and I think they should. You should see angels as advice if they give it, and options or choice. You shouldn't necessarily be guided by them, but at the same time, I think she represents the angel of guidance. And I don't know how true it is to her songs because I haven't really listened to all of them, but it's such an open title that it could mean anything. But at the same time, it also gives power to her, and I feel like that's what I want to do. I want to give power to these singers and angels.